Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. And this is for last Saturday. There's a lot I could go into for this Saturday, but I feel like a lot of it's really not notable, except for two things. One is I acquired a lot of those mini systems. About 6 or 7 of those, knockoff nests and the super nests that look like super nests, but they're frauds because they only have nest games. Although the upside to those is they come with an HDMI cable, which in itself is worth $5 to $10. Now, when I say acquired, I mean consignment. There was a guy I usually get stuff from time to time. He mostly in the past had big DVD lots for me, but I'm downsizing on the DVD stuff. That's just really not taking off. But occasionally he has really nice lots for me. Remember the PS2 lot that I showed you about a month or two ago? Pay $150 for that, and I've already made a good bit more than my money back on that lot. So occasionally he'll have some really nice stuff to sell me. But I told him, I'm really not buying anything there because I have a lot of car issues. So that's where I'm, putting my cash money. Now, I don't tell him that I go to goodwill.com online and get a lot of game stuff because I don't know, like I'm never going to admit that to people because then the other sellers and the other buyers would go there also. So that would basically just not be good for the business. But I like to tell him if they ask me, he sometimes asks me, hey man, where you go to your game stuff? I just say, I had a lot of it. I previously bought it. I'm just kind of going through stuff, a lot of it's from my personal collection, which is not a complete lie because some of the stuff I sell is actually from my personal collection. But what he had was about 6 or 7 of those little mini nest systems. A lot of them were wrapped, but there's an overabundance of those at the flea market. And you can get those online for $20, $25. And it's not really a sought after item unless you actually set up a display where people can actually play it. And, if you're lucky enough to where they don't go around the flea market and see a lot of those, maybe you can get some sales and make a little bit of money. So he didn't tell me the details of how he acquired those. He never really tells me what he paid for them in detail, but, I think it's kind of rude to ask sometimes if you ask somebody how much they paid for that. But he knows I'm the game guy at the flea market, so he wanted to sell them to me first. I said, really not buying anything. But I said, I can sell them for you and give you, just keep a little bit of the profit. And then he tells me he basically wants 20 for this. The HDMI ones, he wants 34. Well, I'm going to go 40 on the small ones. And then I'm going to go 60 on the bigger ones. And then if somebody, talks me back a little bit on those, I can go back on those a little bit. I'm going to go 40 on the red, white, and yellows. And then I'm going to go 60 on the HDMI. Now, the HDMI ones actually have a really crisp, nice picture. And I just got this TV at a physical Goodwill for $8. And maybe I'm going to show off Saturday that one. An amazing deal for $8. This TV is an off-brand one, but it's gorgeous. It looks like one of the first HD TVs. So it's really big and clunky, but that picture is so fucking nice for retro games. So nice. I didn't sell any, but I'm going to really prioritize those at the table. And a positive of that is if I'm in a rush, then those are easy to take down and put in the box versus the bigger consoles and all the wires that go with them. A mini system I can take down and disconnect from the system, and half the time it takes for, the big, clunky 360 power bricks and all that kind of stuff. The mini system, there's positives to it. And maybe people are more likely to pay $40 instead of like $130 for a bigger system. Plus, another added bonus is, people can't change out the games back and forth like they can with the PlayStation 1, the 2, the 360. So they're set, there. So there's a lot of positives with the mini systems. And also, a lot of people have never seen those. It's a big nostalgia kick. Someone's like, wait, I can play Super Mario Brothers 3 and all these other games for just $60 on my HD TV? Granted, the system don't have save states, but with a lot of Nintendo games, like Contra, you just go all the way through. Save states aren't a big deal. The second thing I want to talk about is how, well, it's three things really. On this day, it was incredibly hot. Like right now, it's hot as I'm recording this outside, but it's not super hot, like super humid hot. Super humid hot is a different kind of heat. I was sweating the minute I got there. The minute I got there to the minute I left, and I was under something. I was in the shade there. The heat was just insane heat. So it was actually slowing down my movements. I was having to drink a lot of water. The heat was just sapping all my freaking energy. And I think I got a good bit of sleep the night before. That's important too, because you don't want to go into a day at the flea market like that where it's high humid heat and you didn't get a lot of sleep. So at least if you got sleep, then you have some energy. Now, because of that, sales people weren't there a whole lot, or they came early. I've noticed a trend to where people are coming more early, and then actually around 12, you don't have that normal burst of people like you usually do around 12, because a lot of people have actually came early to avoid the heat, even though, like I said, the heat was there at 9 a.m. It just did not let up. So I hadn't even made $100 until 2 o'clock. And I started breaking everything down to 2 o'clock. So I was wearing my Lucky shirt too. I was wearing my Lucky Jujutsu Kaisen shirt. And that in the past has been a very lucky shirt. I lost some glasses outside. And if you're hearing that in the background, I'm recording in my car. And Chevys have this annoying actuator problem. And it just comes out of nowhere. Maybe I can adjust it, and they say there's a way to actually put it from in your climate control one way or the other, but we'll just wait for that to go through its motions. Grab a snack if you'd like to. Maybe a Bud Light. Maybe some of you can go get a Bud Light. No takers, no Bud Lights. Damn, that's lasting a while, isn't it? Fuck it, I'm just gonna continue. Just deal it in the background. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. So where was I? Oh yeah, with the lucky shirt I had. Let me tell you how lucky this shirt is. It was dark, it was about to rain, and I had some tall grass. And I had lost my glasses outside in the tall grass somewhere. I didn't know where they were lost. I didn't know exactly where they were. Within 5 minutes of putting on this shirt, I went out into pitch black and I found glasses. Found them. There's other instances that I can tie back to this shirt having powers of luck. Just like in a video game, you put on maybe a different armor and it has a +7 on luck. You know? Yeah. I'm sorry I doubted the powers of that shirt, because around 2 o'clock, when it was slow, somebody came by that I actually used to work with. He was with his wife, and he has a newborn baby, has 2 kids, and he was just shocked that I was, a video game store guy at the flea market. He was shocked. He's like, "Whoa, you still work at the other place?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do that. I do this on the weekends." So he was just looking through all the game stuff. His wife seemed more into the game stuff than he did. He said he's a PC gamer. He's part of the PC Gamer Master Race, so he kind of looks down on a lot of the console stuff. But he said, I might want a console for the lady. Something easier to work for the lady and everything. She was playing. They first looked at the Xbox 360. Then they looked at the Xbox One. And it was to the point where they were going to buy one, but they asked me, what do I recommend? He didn't know a lot about Xboxes. He always, just been a PC gamer. I said, well, number one, I want to sell the Xbox One because it would be more expensive. But I said, only $200. I think he said he didn't really care about a lot of the bundle, the game packages or whatnot, because I had 15 games with it. I said, tell you what, because I know you guys, $200 with 5 games. It's a great deal. And honestly, I wanted to get rid of the Xbox One. I told them that it's more of an online system. So if she'd like playing the online shooters, 360 is really not if people are still online, there's not going to be that many people online on the 360. I said, what you want is the Xbox One. That's the more recent system, and a lot of your newer games you're going to be able to play online, like Battlefield, Call of Duty, and whatnot. Well, she's playing Battlefield 4, and I don't sell a lot of Battlefield games. I sell Call of Duties mostly. So I'm happy that that's one of the games she chose. She liked that. She chose some other games, GTA 5, which I told her, that's not backward compatible. They chose 5 games, and 2 of those I had to take away. GTA 5 and I think another one. I forget which other one. Yeah, Dead Island. But, being a good businessman, I said, listen, Dying Light is right up there, if not better than Dead Island. So that's the game you want, Dying Light. I forget the other games that she chose. But there was 5 games, and she was busy playing Battlefield 4. And her kids were the most well-behaved kids. They didn't make a sound. They didn't say nothing. They didn't cry for mom and dad. Nothing like that. So if I ever have kids, I hope my kids are just like that. The kids were so chill. They were in like a double kid stroller. They were just so chill. He didn't have any cash on him, so I was like, damn, I only take cash. So it'd be terrible if they were interested in it and then couldn't buy it because they didn't have any cash. I mentioned you can go to the office and get money out of the office. Well, he went to the office to get money. He said he'll be back. Came back and he said, sadly, there's a limit of 200. He actually was going to get the system, 5 games, and I think a couple other extra games because he asked me how much, or if I get this, how much are extra games? I'm like, for you, man, $5 each. I could take the loss because I don't pay a whole lot for the games. Plus, it's the I know you deal. I gave him the I know you deal. Right. So, he made it first the way he worded it. Like he sadly, couldn't have that. He meant the more than 200. After that, he pulls the 20s out of his pocket, hands me $200. I was like, okay, now, this makes this day a little better because I, hit almost 300 on a day of incredibly high heat. It's almost worse than in the cold. It's the opposite of it. You get through a winter at the flea market and it's so cold and not many people come there. Then you get into the summer. Seemed like I just jumped over spring and right into summer. Like, boom, we hit right summer. It's been so hot this year. So, yeah, I was talking to him so much. I almost forgot to unplug the power cord because we were all talking about like old times and whatnot. I said, well, you might need the power cord to actually use that. Also, he's coming back to get the Magic the Gathering deck. He was one guy incredibly excited to see a Magic the Gathering Commander deck, which I'm selling for someone else. So I'm probably not going to keep any profit from that. Really, I'm not. One last thing, I made a decision to give some people a lot of stuff back that I'm not selling. Remember the Teddy Ruxpin and the Robot Man and all that kind of stuff? It's nice stuff, but I don't think I'm going to have the buyers there. It sticks out. Plus, I only have so much table space, and they take up so much room. The big centipede, caterpillar, whatever the hell that thing was, it takes up more than like 2 trays of game space room. So I'll just explain to them like, hey, I can work in comic books. I can work in video games. I can work in movies, even though I'm downsizing on the movies. But when it comes to working in Teddy Ruxpin and the other caterpillar thing, whatever, I just really don't have the space unless I put them under the table. And I don't think they want that nice stuff to go under the table. But yeah, that's Flea Market Stories for last Saturday. Take care, everybody.